Mac Jones was better than I think most of us could possibly have hoped for. 26 for 39, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And Mac Jones was precise, on time, found guys wide open. Jauan Jennings, 42-yard touchdown reception, the longest of his entire career.
Fred Warner with the peanut punch.
D. Winters right now is playing like a superstar. If this was last year, they don't win this game.
Absolutely. A lot of really nice throws on big downs, on third down, some conversions. He found Jauan Jennings often. Ricky Pearsall had 4 catches. McCaffrey was his escape valve, as he tends to be for whichever quarterback is playing with him. McCaffrey caught a touchdown pass, his first touchdown of the season. Mac Jones was awesome in this game. I think you see some of the limitations of the offense with Mac because he's clearly not as mobile as Brock, and he was forced to kind of take a couple of sacks, and one of them resulted in a fumble because he can't quite extend plays, and there were a couple of moments, that strip sack was one of them, Sterling, where you just were begging him to get rid of the ball. You're holding on to it just a second too long, but as a backup quarterback, I'll put it this way, Sterling, I don't think there is any other backup quarterback in the league who you could come in and expect to be better than what Mac Jones was today. He's clearly one of the best backups in the NFL, which is why the Niners went out and signed him.
Well, it's the reason why you can go back to the rumor mill as to who Kyle wanted back in 2021, and that's a long time ago now, and we've moved on from that, but there's a reason why. It's the mental game. He knows the offense. He can operate the offense, do what Kyle needs him to do, and today, you can say this felt very Jimmy Garoppolo-esque with maybe some more precision. I think Mac Jones, although there was a reversion back to a former iteration of the offense, it was good enough to win, and Mac Jones was precise, on time, found guys wide open. Jauan Jennings, 42-yard touchdown reception, the longest of his entire career, with a bum ankle and a bum shoulder. It took everything this team had to win today. And kind of like last week, too, if this was last year, they don't win this game.
Absolutely.
And to go on the road and win this game, it's so big for them. And for Mac Jones, who you don't really know what that career path will look like for him. Is he going to come in and be a dud and be terrible and have San Francisco saying, what a terrible decision we made? And you sit back and say, wow, we really miss Brock Purdy. And don't get me wrong, we really miss Brock Purdy. The mobility he has, the playmaking he has, but against a Saints team that is probably one of the worst in football this year, Mac was phenomenal, really great. And I think hopefully has changed some people's minds as to how good the team can be. Can you stay afloat? This team showed today they can stay afloat without their stars, which is a great place to be. Where last year, this team, you lose one guy, season's over, wrap it up, buddy. Now it's like, okay, we got something here with the backups, which preserve yourself and get your guys healthy and go on a run at some point. But great win today. Great team win today, back-to-back weeks.
2-0 on the season, a couple of road wins, one in the division, and then one without your starting quarterback and your star tight end. Hell of a way to begin the season for the Niners. Does not matter if you win by 1, if you win by 20. All that matters is get the win, and the Niners have done that. But the emphasis on the team, we talked about Mac Jones. You mentioned Jauan Jennings, Christian McCaffrey, of course, Ricky Pearsall, Kendrick Bourne. The new Niner had 3 big catches in this game. Brian Robinson.
Didn't know the offense very well, but he came through.
he might have been the reason for a delay of game penalty in the second half because he was confused if he should move in motion right now or later and whatever, but a couple of big catches for him. Jake Tonjes had 4 more catches. He had no career catches entering this season. Had 3 in week 1 on the final drive, including the game-winning touchdown. Had 4 more today. Luke Farrell caught his first career touchdown, and that's just on offense, Sterling. How about on defense? Fred Warner with the peanut punch on one of the craziest catches I've ever seen from Alvin Kamara, giving the Niners the ball back. That resulted in the touchdown that made it a 2-score game early in the fourth quarter. And then, late in the game defensively, essentially each of the Saints' last 2 drives, sacks to close the door on drives. On 3rd and 6 on the Saints' second to last drive, it was a Nick Bosa sack, but it was also Mykel Williams with a bull rush from up the middle. He was the right defensive tackle alongside Nick Bosa. That pressure with the bull rush forced Rattler to step up right into Bosa for an easy sack, and then the strip sack to end the game on the final offensive play of the game from the Saints. Bryce Huff strip sack ball game. You had big moments from like 7, 8, 9, 10 different guys in this game, Sterling. And interesting that it played out that way because the 49ers, you generally feel like, are kind of a top-heavy team. You've got these superstars in a number of key positions, but they lack depth. And maybe the back end of their starting lineup isn't quite as good around the rest of the NFL. But, man, you got a lot of contributions from some of the others in this game today.
How about Mykel Williams? Mykel Williams
he was great today.
Week wasn't much of a pass rush specialist, wasn't getting home much, more of a run defender. This week, though, great in run defense.
He's amazing.
Running down, like the play on before Fred Warner's amazing 3rd and 2 PBU to ice this game or put it to 4th down that forced a sack for Bryce Huff. He chased down Alvin Kamara when Lenore and Winters missed to force that 3rd and 2. The motor on him to not waste plays, to run down guys that are 5 yards ahead of him to save games, if you will, to force the pocket up to feed Rattler right into Bosa's teeth. Like Mykel, for not playing the entire preseason, has made an impact. I'm sure you saw the stat after week 1. Double team nearly 95% of the snaps against Seattle. Came in against the Saints and said, you know what? Enough with that crap. We're getting home in week 2 and making some plays. What a big, big game for this team's first-round draft pick this past year's draft. Excellent day from him. I thought the run defense wasn't perfect. It was much worse, but you're playing Alvin Kamara, one of the best in football, and they held up well. Only allowed 21 points, and even then, like I really think San Francisco's defense continues to be the strongest point. The offense scored 26 points. That's great, awesome, perfect, whatever, but this defense is so clutch. Bend, don't break. Even the last drive in which the Saints scored their last touchdown. 2 third downs, one of the penalties was kind of a ticky-tack, really kind of call.
Upton Stout,
So, again, Saleh, thank you for coming back, brother. We need you big time. Thank you so much. You're saving us out here in San Francisco.
Yeah, that drive you're talking about, it was the Devon Vele touchdown drive that made it 26-21 Niners with a little more than 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That drive began, by the way, relatively early on with a Mykel Williams tackle for loss of Alvin Kamara. Got the Saints behind the sticks. Eventually they faced a 3rd and 12. And Rattler took a deep shot over the middle to Olave. Stout broke it up, and it looked to me like pretty clean, but called for illegal contact, automatic first down. You're right. I didn't really think it was much of a penalty, but it was called a penalty. Then later on that drive, there was a 3rd and 5 from right around midfield. Yetur Gross-Matos, good to see him back and performing well. Got great pressure. Forced a wild incompletion, but there was defensive holding there. That time it was on Marquise Siegel, another rookie. Stout and Siegel, both rookies, both getting regular snaps. Stout as the nickel corner and Siegel as one of the other safeties alongside Pinnock. That's also an automatic first down, and then ultimately it leads to the touchdown. There were 2 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 12 conversions on that drive converted by penalty. That's going to happen with your youngsters in the secondary, Sterling. You're right about the Stout one. I didn't think it was much of a penalty. The Niners are going to have to get off the field on 3rd downs more often against the better teams, but you're right. Just good to see them in a spot on 3rd and 12. That's a really tough ask for a Saints offense that is very limited themselves, and on that Stout one, that felt pretty clean to me. That probably should have got them off the field. We can talk about the ticky-tack nature of it, but I'm ultimately going to applaud Upton Stout for that specific rep there. It looked to me like he did a pretty good job.
Physical coverage. That's exactly what you want from young defensive backs. Sometimes it's penalties. Sometimes you get burned, and they almost got burned today. But I am so impressed by how quickly this unit has turned around defensively. Obviously, you had a bunch of guys that were cut in the offseason, some guys that were released, which you can complain about and say, why'd you cut that guy? Why'd you cut this guy? But overall, the way Fred Warner plays, D. Winters, another phenomenal game in space, chasing down ball carriers, just so great. The way he covered the field, one sideline to the other, to chase down Kamara and Olave to stop pivotal 3rd down plays, 2nd down plays to force 3rd and longs. D. Winters right now is playing like a superstar. You may miss Dre Greenlaw. I tell you what, San Francisco right now is like, oh, thank God we let D. Winters play and cut or let Dre Greenlaw leave in the offseason. D. Winters has been phenomenal for this defense, and how good the secondary's played. Again, you got burnt a few times, but really, the way they have gone from a team that you were scared of them giving up 24 points a game, 30 points a game last year, to now sitting back like, they can hold the team to 13-10, and today wasn't that, but overall, the collective of that defense to fight continually, where the offense stalls late in games, and Shanahan now saying, I had the confidence to trust my defense to take a shot on 3rd and 6 to win a football game.
Yep.
It didn't work out, but guess what? Good old Bobby Saleh out there saying, hey, don't worry, Kyle, I got you.